But yeah, I shall do a mini review and what I don't like and I don't like about the Triumph, but also I'm going to do a comparison. And the only other sort of super naked, if we can class the MT09 as a super naked, I mean, certainly quick enough, I would think. Let's see what I mean with a tar. It's all bubbling up. Yeah, that's the only one I can compare it against. I've not had any others. So I know there's sort of 10 years difference in the models, and I know the MT09 is an 850 and this is a 950. This is older, so bear that in mind. It's just really the general feeling and what I feel about the two bikes. First off, I love the MT09. It is a fantastic bike, absolutely marvellous thing. That engine is a peach, but it has its faults, and this is very similar. This engine is an absolute peach, and it has its faults. So let's do a comparison. Firstly, performance. Now the MT09 on the throttle is so fast. I don't think there's many bikes on the market with such a quick response. This has got quite a bit of slop, as you can see, on the throttle, so it's not as fast on the pickup. But this has got a gruntier engine. Feels like it's got more torque. I don't know whether the figures can disprove that or not. I mean, it's got a bigger displacement, but it just seems gruntier. Not sure what the top speeds on both of these bikes are, but I will flash that up somewhere around here, and I'll flash all the performance figures up if I can. So this is off the cuff, as you can probably imagine. So the next thing is the handling, and this is a heavy old beast, and I know a lot of reviews say it's sort of compared to the Street Triple, it's a bit of a lump, but it has better suspension than the MT09. I'm on about my MT09, which is a 16 model. I think the new ones have got an improved suspension. I've not ridden one of those, so I can't say, but the 16 model MT09, bit lacking in the suspension front, I'm afraid, on those. This suspension isn't perfect by any stretch of the imagination, but it is quite stable, and you can seem to get around corners pretty well for the weight of the thing. And the next thing is, and this is subjective, is the looks. Now, the thing I didn't like about the MT09 was the looks. I mean, it just didn't do anything for me, really. That's why I suppose I let it go, because if it had been a brilliant bike, but you just couldn't fall in love with the looks of the thing. This, although it does look a bit dated, I think looks absolutely incredible. I suppose this falls between two stools now. It's not classic like the original 900 Speed Triple, which has got cult classic status, and it does look like a classic bike, and it's not modern. So this falls between two stools. I suppose it will become more classic as time goes on, but that's not the reason I bought it. But I just love those big chrome headlights at the front. Even the new MT09 with its new twin headlights I don't like, to be honest. Again, it's all subjective. Some people will think they're beautiful. I don't really, but Next thing is, I think, the ride factor. Both bikes are an absolute hoot to ride. Both bikes are bad girl stroke boy bikes. Excuse me. They really bring out the hooligan in you. And I think this just slightly wins because it's quite got an aggressive stance where I think you sit up a little bit more on the MT. Knees are still tucked in, but this has got... Then imagine the stance of a bulldog. I mean, that's how you feel when you're sitting on this. And this was the first. The Speed Triple was the first of the super naked hooligan bikes. So it's got to score cred for that. The others sort of cop it. The other thing, I suppose I like this because it's British. Made in good old Blighty, you know, where it maybe hasn't got the reliability of the Japanese bike, although I don't think it's too bad. I think these engines are pretty robust. But this does smack of quality. It feels like it's honed out of a solid piece of steel, if that makes any sense. Whereas the MT's a bit flimsy, a bit plasticky. I'm being super critical. Please don't take offence if you've got an MT. Fantastic bike, fantastic. And I'm not just saying I like this just because I've got one of these. The next thing is comfort. Now, on Sunday I did the Suffolk Bike Club and the Weggies. On Sunday I did the charity ride round East Anglia, which was 210 miles, and we did it Ely back to Ely, because that was the way back for us. So we did the 200 miles plus. Now admittedly after about 100 miles or so my bum was getting a bit numb, but we kept pressing on and it wasn't too bad. Now I knew on the MT09 after about 60-70 miles I got pretty darn uncomfortable. So this wins for comfort. And I think suspension and weight, it soaks up the bumps a bit better than the MT and makes it a more comfortable ride too. I suppose the final thing, if I've got this side by side to the MT, which would I prefer? And I would prefer this. My favourite Speed Triple, apart from the 900, the Mark 1 shall we say, if we call this a Mark 2, would be the Mark 3, which is the first of the 1050s. I think that looks absolutely drop dead gorgeous. This looks a little bit dated, but as I said earlier, it's not dated enough to look classic yet, although it's got chrome and stuff on it. So yeah, both superb bikes, not much between them. I think performance, probably the MT would have the edge on this, but for grin factor, they both put a massive grin on your face. This for me at the moment is a bike I've always wanted, I've always lusted after a Speed Triple, so I suppose that's got something to do with shading my judgment a little bit. But yeah, you wouldn't say no to either of those two bikes, would you really? But there we go, mini review, comparison with the MT 2016 model. And again, please don't take offence if you've got one. They are not bad bikes, they are absolutely superb bikes. I just think for me, this V-Triple has just got the edge, just. So alright motorcycle fans, you take care and I'll speak to you soon.